Morning. Happy rainy day. Yeah. This will be our last video before we get to schizophrenia, which should be, well, intense. I'll put it that way. The last one is on the bottom of page 3. Disassociative, it is called. You will probably know it better as multiple personality disorder. Some psychologists believe this doesn't really exist. Some do. I know one personally who says that they've treated several patients that they believe has this. So who knows? All I do know is that if it does exist, it's very, very rare to really, truly be a thing. Okay? And multiple personality disorder is, it's fun to portray in the media and all that kind of stuff. There's been several movies about it. I think I put a clip from one of those movies on your video links page. So if you want to watch that, good for you. So there we go. So this will be a quick video. And then, like I said, the next time we'll start with schizophrenia. So disassociative is where there are distinct personalities, 2, 3, 4, supposedly in the 20s. There was one famous case and ended up being a fraud, but so be it. Distinct personalities, each of which, how does it say? They may be stable. In other words, you may have, there was a famous, the earlier movie back in the 50s, there was one about this woman named Eve. It was called The Three Faces of Eve, if you want to watch any of that. There was Eve White, Eve Black, and Eve, I forget, boring or something, but Eve White was real nice and proper, and Eve Black was this, hello, bewitching character, and then the other one was, I suppose, somewhere in between. But they were stable in the sense that they, the personalities aren't all like jumping around and everything else, because normally they're not really aware of each other. There's little connection, if any connection, between them. And, you can turn from Eve White to Eve Black or whatever, based on situation, based on a trigger of some sort, a visual trigger or a word, not a word like you're trained to do it, but if you hear the word nightclub and Eve Black's like, oh, nightclubs, I love nightclubs, and all of a sudden Eve Black comes out. So the cause of this, if again it exists, it seems to be an escape mechanism that you've got, overbearing parents or a bad home situation or some sort of, something doesn't quite fit or isn't quite right. And I'll hold this up so you can freeze it and see it. I don't know if this helps. Sorry. Oh, that makes it worse. Okay. Do it this way. This is less glare, yeah. Okay, freeze that and get it if you need to. Strong escape mechanism for those who cannot face problems and have strong conflicting internal desires. I don't know. Maybe people that choose lifestyles that are very at odds with what they're really feeling. Priests, nuns, maybe something like that. Sometimes you get into those overly moralistic people who can't really escape because, if you're a priest, you can't really go out and go to porno shops and stuff. So you become priest too or whatever. I don't know. This one, like I said, it's pretty simple as far as that goes. Whether it exists or not, it doesn't really matter, but just know the basic characteristics and so on and so forth. Watch the movie. It's like 5 or 6 minutes. It kind of gives you a good idea. Even though that movie is the one that was the fraud, it still gives a pretty good portrayal of what that might be like, where you've got personalities that are usually more serious, more childish, more innocent, more jaded, things like that. Okay? All right, quick, and we're done. Have a good day and weekend. I think next week is when I'll introduce the schizophrenic stuff, and that'll be that, and then that'll give you everything you need for that assignment. And I noticed a couple of you turned it in. It's fine, but you may want to think about resubmitting once you get the other stuff, if you find something more interesting or more relevant. So anyway, adios.